How's everyone doing tonight? You know, we had to kick that off 2023 style. It is 2023. Cannot believe it. 2022 blew by. We're in a still kind of gathering ourselves, I think. But yeah, welcome to the show this evening. Mark Donohue's coming from sunny southwestern Australia. He set his alarm for 5:30 this morning so he could get a gym session in and be currently the only one in the office. Man, you get it. 5:30 in the morning, man. Better you than me. I'm sound asleep at 5:30 in the morning, but welcome Sean Inman to the show. We appreciate you turning in from Fort Worth, Texas, and CyberGuard 360 is from LA. So if you're just joining us, pop in the chat, say hi, say what's up. We appreciate you joining us live. Those of you who happen to catch us on the replay, that's cool too. We appreciate it. If this is your first Growably call, put that in the comments too. I always like to see who our returning visitors are, and those of you who have been around for a little bit, who kind of know the Growably thing. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Andrew Moon. I am the Orange Nomad. I'm one of the probably the few founding members of the Tech Tribe. Nigel and I have been together for a while. I am so happy to continue to educate and bring what I know from being in the IT space for 30 years, being an entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. All of the good, bad, and ugly stories, Nigel and I share many together. But I am happy to join you again this month on a live Growably Q&A session. So we're going to do some training. We're going to do, kind of walk through what we do. So Sean is a first timer. Appreciate you having Sean's rocking it this week. I think he just joined us a week or so ago over the holiday. We appreciate having you join the tribe, and it looks like you're jumping in head first. We've got lots to discuss today, this evening. And if you happen to be, obviously you're watching over in YouTube land. So if you happen to be watching this, right below that video there, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button too while you're there. We're trying to get Nigel's, the Tech Tribe channel to 1,000. I think we're at 775 as we sit right now. So we're trying to get to 1,000. So that's my goal for the first quarter. There's 3,000 of you in the Tech Tribe. We can get to 1,000, I know. But yes, we appreciate all of you who tune in. CyberGuard 360, yes, this is being recorded. The awesome thing is, if you clicked on the link inside the tribal forums, all you got to do as soon as this recording is done for this evening, you click that link and you can rewatch to your heart's content. That's why I like YouTube better, because it's instantaneous. I don't have to wait for a download, check the video, re-upload. As soon as we're done live streaming, you can go back and watch the replay, which is awesome. But yeah, we're trying to do everything, move away from Zoom. It's going to be our all YouTube all year long this year. Another first timer with us, Tom Deal. We appreciate having you with us this evening. And Cam Case is from Minnesota. Let us know if this is your first time as well, Cam. We appreciate all of those folks who tune in month after month. And if, like I said, we appreciate you tuning in and asking questions. That's what this session is all about, is asking questions. So if you do have a question, go ahead and put the letter Q in the comments and then ask your question. We're going to have some dedicated time at the end. But feel free to ask your questions as we go along. And if I can answer them fairly quickly so we can get everything in, great. If not, we will wait till the end. That way I can kind of flag these in our comments as well. So CyberGuard 360 said, yep, this is his first time as well. We appreciate that, you guys tuning in. So I think it's probably, 4 o'clock for you, Eastern or West Coast time. It's 7:06 p.m. here. I'm in the Midwest on the East Coast of the United States. All right, so let's go ahead and get cracking here. Obviously, everybody can see and hear me okay, so that is awesome. Get all that technical stuff out of the way. For those of you first timers who have never been on the call before, I'm just going to run through our typical agenda, what we cover on these calls. And again, I try to be as fast paced and cram as much as I can into these calls because I want to be respectful of your time, both of those you watching live and those on the replay as well. So what we're going to do first is cover the latest news inside of High Level, which is what Growably is built on. Those of you who have Growably, let me know in the comments too that you have Growably and are starting to use it, because I like to see those, especially those of you who are first timers to the call, probably are just getting started with Growably. So I like to be able to answer questions and, like I said, customize these calls to our audience. Mark Saliba is joining us, first timer from Houston. Awesome. Glad to have you. So that's our typical agenda. We're going to go through the latest high-level updates that have come out since our call last month, especially the ones that pertain to you folks right here. So we cover that, and then I'm going to talk about the LinkedIn Challenge. This is an experiment we're running for the first time inside the tribe, so I'm going to cover that and give you some tips and tricks on how to implement and push forward with LinkedIn in 2023. Then I'm going to give a couple member shout outs to some folks who have been super, super helpful inside the tribe over the last few months. I'd like to, we kind of started this probably about 6 months ago, pulling out some members inside the tribe and recognizing them on these calls, because I like to see people that are involved, people who give back. And you can see that from the community. This is a community of go-givers, and that is what I am all about. So then, like I said, we're going to have some question and answer time at the end, so that we can cover everything that we've got to cover here as well. So let's see. Claudio asked, we'll be showing a drip campaign. I won't be showing a drip campaign necessarily on this, but we do have some templates that are going to be released inside the tribe here in 2023. But I think one of them, we're refining some of the emails. I think we covered that on the October or November live stream. But I'll show you, Claudio, so thank you for joining us as well and asking that great question. But what I'll do is actually show you some of the campaigns that you already have access to as part of your marketing packs. And I think, yeah, we did cover that in last month's call and the month before. We covered a lot of folks were coming from MailChimp over to Growably. So if you go back and watch the November call, I show you exactly how to use all of the emails from the marketing packs and how to set up those drip campaigns with the stuff you already have, without having to create from scratch. But if you want me to show you where those are at, Claudio, please let me know in the comments too. But I have flagged that, so if we have some time at the end, maybe we'll just do a demo drip campaign so that I can show you on this call. But yeah, we did cover that in depth, and I believe that was on the November Growably call. And again, if you're on the YouTube channel, you can go back and watch any of these recordings. All the Growably calls are on the Tech Tribe YouTube channel. So, yep, Claudio says he's good. Got it. Thank you. So, excellent. All right, so now let's get into covering some of the new features that appeared inside of Growably / High Level since last month, and there were quite a few. We actually saw one like 3 hours ago. They released a new one that we'll cover here at the end. So what I'm going to do is cover these, and then I'm going to show you how to get to the new features inside of Growably. For those of you, and like I said, you first timers, this is probably going to be a lot to throw at you. But yeah, like I said, if you have questions, we'll show you, but I wanted to at least get to the new features for some of the folks who might be watching that have been using Growably for a little while here. So CyberGuard360 says, yes, he's recently started Growably too, working on moving some workflows over there. Awesome. And I think Sean said, yep, he has it, just getting started as well. All right, so let's talk about there's a couple things that have come out that we've been voting on here in the tribe to get High Level to release, and we finally have seen some of those come to fruition over the last 30 to 60 days, which is awesome. And I'm going to show you a couple of those. I think we've got 5 updates that affect everybody with Growably this month. I'm going to switch screens here so that I can show you what those are. Actually, let's go full screen. That way you can see everything inside of Growably. The first one is recurring appointments are live. That was one of the features. If you're not familiar, you're just getting started with Growably, how many of you are using Calendly or something similar to that right now, and haven't got everything migrated over to Growably? Drop that in the comments for me too, so I can see who's using what, so that I can show you how this relates to you. But there is a calendaring feature built inside of Growably that is very similar to Calendly and other appointment booking apps. It's included absolutely free inside of your Growably app, but they've been releasing some updates to the calendaring function, which I think is super cool. A couple of them you'll have to enable. So if you go down, let me refresh my mouse here real quick so I can zoom in and show you a couple things. There we go. All right, so what you'll do is go down here at the bottom under settings, down here at the bottom, and some of the features I'm going to show you today are going to be in the labs, under the labs tab inside of Growably. And the calendar settings consolidation, so just go ahead and toggle these features on. This one's going live in 4 days, but this allows you to try some of the features out for yourself before they get pushed live. Recurring appointments was another one. Go ahead and toggle that on. And this was an awesome one that I think was just released on Friday, which was two-way email sync with Outlook. Yes, finally. We've been waiting for that as tech tribers. That was released on Friday. So what I'm going to do is show you some of the things here. Dave Lane says, yes, he needs to get 365 sync figured out. But yeah, that's one of the things that I'm starting to see is they have listened to us as IT folks. So we're starting to see some tighter integration with Outlook calendars and the two-way email feature. That is absolute game changer and allows them to really compete with a lot of the other CRMs out there as well. So yeah, Sean said, yeah, I like free. I like free as well. I've actually been able to condense quite a few tools down, been able to eliminate costs using high level. So, all right, so let's go cover this. So you'll want to toggle these things on inside of your own Growably account, and then I'm going to show you how to go about finding them. So I'm going to go back here, and then I'm going to go back to calendars, and I've got my Testy McTest calendar here. So I'm going to click in. I'm going to go to calendar settings since I already have one set up. And you'll come in here and you can have as many calendars as you want, which is absolutely awesome. You can have groups. You can have like support, admin, different group calendars. You can get really super intricate if you want to with calendars. But just for this simple one, I'm going to come in here and show you. I'm going to come in here and edit just to show you what the calendar functions setup look like. And again, the meeting location, you can integrate Zoom, so it'll automatically create a Zoom meeting for you. You can have, the link to the calendar, and this is where you would set up your two-way synchronization with Outlook, which was awesome. But one of the other things that they've done is in availability, I have the ability to set that recurring, and that was one of the things we hadn't seen yet. So if I toggle that on, it's going to give me all of the ability to set up those recurring appointments, which I thought was completely awesome. For those of you who actually do recurring appointments, which I do, that was a fantastic feature. The other thing they added was enhancements in the notifications. This is a whole new section that got added this month where you can choose who receives those notifications for those acknowledgement emails. Obviously, we want the contact to get that, but we can have those internal emails sent to somebody that gets alerted every time a calendar is booked. So those were some really cool features that appeared that were released since last month as well. So Claudio asked, can you sync an Outlook Office 365 calendar? You absolutely can. So if I come in here, let me go back here so I can show you where I'm going. So if you go down into settings and then you go to profile, this is where you would set up your calendar sync information. So here's your integrations in your personal profile, and you can set up a Zoom integration, and here's the Outlook calendar integration. So you basically just connect your Office 365 calendar. It will synchronize across. They only had Gmail or Google Calendar available for the longest time. But that's, finally I'm starting to see some good synchronization with Outlook over the last couple weeks since they released that. And then also in your profile here is where you would enable that two-way sync with Outlook as well. So you just check that button. I'm not going to go through this because this is a test account. So you're going to hit connect. You're going to get the pop-up for to approve lead connector in your Office 365 tenant. And then you're just going to approve that and go ahead and connect to your Outlook. And then it's going to do that two-way synchronization for you. That, like I said, was super exciting. And I was very, very excited to see them finally add that in there. But yes, those you can do Outlook, Office 365 calendar and email now, which was, again, when we got started last year, March, April, it was kind of tough slogging for a little while. But yeah, they're finally catching up to some of the things that we've been voting on inside of High Level. Let's go through my checklist. I've got recurring calendar notifications, two-way Outlook sync. A couple of the other ones, this was another one that may or may not affect you. I came over from Infusionsoft. If you're using a current CRM software or coming from another one, put that in the comments which one you're using as well, because I like to see, again, points of reference for me as I teach these classes, what people are using, so that I can kind of help you make that transition and kind of the nuances between different CRMs. But one of the ones that we used was, I came from Infusionsoft, which became Keep. Now I'm on High Level. But one of the ones that I really liked was the ability to have a company record. So I can have multiple contacts inside of a company record. And I think, most of our PSA solutions are set up that way. Unfortunately, when High Level got started, they really didn't have that company object in there and the ability to relate contacts inside of a company. So they've added that a month or so ago, but one of the things that they've added this month, again, I'm going to switch back here so you can see it. Let's go full screen soon. So down inside of settings, and then if I scroll down, and then this just appeared within the last couple days. So inside companies, I now can check this little box right here, which will create and associate companies with contacts. And you can read that help article. If you click the learn more, it will take you out to the help article. The great thing I like about it, which for me was the great thing, says the business name ignores case sensitivity. So if you have a contact that's Burger King and you already have one in there that's lowercase Burger King, it's going to go ahead and associate those contact records and do that synchronization for you. This has been a manual process up to now. So that was kind of a cool feature. So you can have, when you go create contacts, you have the ability to type in a company name, and then it will go ahead and create that company object automatically for you now. So it slices down on some manual work that was there before. Let's see here. And then the last feature, I'm going to go back here. The last feature was pop-up forms. So again, you have the ability to create forms inside of Growably as well. So if I come down in here to sites, and then I go up here to forms, and then go to the form builder, they've added the ability. And so instead of having an entire page dedicated to a form, I now have the ability to, actually, let's just go inside this one here. They have the integrate form button down here on the bottom right. So if I click that, I now have the ability to show where I want that to show up on the page. So you can have a sticky sidebar on the left, a polite sidebar to the bottom right. You can make it a full pop-up in the middle of the page, or you can have it inline in the page as well. So they give you all kinds of customization for the trigger type. You can show when somebody scrolls to a certain percentage of the page, it will pop up and have that form. So this is awesome for opt-in forms, for newsletters, ebooks, all of that stuff. You've got a lot more functionality in the forms now as well. So you can have when it activates. So this one was kind of cool. You can have it activate if somebody comes back to your website maybe once or twice. Maybe on that second visit, then we show them that pop-up. And then you've also have some deactivation features as well. So you've got an embed code and just a copy form link, so you can send this in emails as well. So those were some pop-up form features that were released since last month's call. I believe last month they were in beta, but that is in full release now. So you've got create as many forms as you want inside of Growably. And like I said, we're going to show some of those tonight. So see, Tom Deal says he's using HubSpot and Calendly. So, a lot of this is going to be familiar with creating forms. Tom, let me know too. I haven't used HubSpot in a while. Do they have that company record and then to be able to associate the contacts underneath of it? I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe they do. But again, that was kind of one of the ones I was really looking for. Let's see. CyberGuard 360 says Infusionsoft mostly, also separately Appointment Core. So we'd like something that combines those together. Yeah. So I was using Appointment Core. I think I tried 3 or 4 of the ones that integrate with Infusionsoft, and I just wasn't super happy with it having multiple solutions. But you have that all baked in now with Growably, which is awesome. So we're finally starting to catch up on some of the the features that we've been waiting for now. So I'm super excited about what they have coming up in 2023. Things we're going to be launching inside the tribe as well. I'm going to flip back over on my slides, and I'm going to take a drink real quick because, as you can see, like I said, I talk fast. I try to get as much information crammed in as I possibly can for you folks. So let me know if you have any questions up to this point. Just give me a thumbs up that you guys are good to go to move on to some other stuff. We're going to talk about the LinkedIn challenge here next. So if you have joined the LinkedIn challenge already, pop that in the comments and let me know that you've joined the LinkedIn challenge over on the Tech Tribe forums as well. Yeah, Tom Deal says, I'm not sure. He's recently started with HubSpot. So let's see here. Claudio says, anyone having an issue with the calendars not showing up when clicking calendar settings? So let me switch back over. So let's see here. Calendar settings. I'm assuming you've already created a calendar, Claudio. Because I just created this demo one before we went live. About an hour ago. But yeah, if you're not seeing calendars, let me know, and you have created one, let me know as well. Because the other thing you might want to do, Claudio, if you're not seeing your calendars and you've created it, if you hit this little icon up here for that question mark, and this is how you can kind of get tech support for now with the folks over at High Level. But you can put in a support ticket here. Or down here at the bottom right, you can pop up and open a chat support with the folks there. It says, I have 3. Let's see here. It says, I have 3, but when I go there, they show up for a second and disappear. So, yeah, I definitely, something in the browser or something's kind of not refreshing, right? So, yeah, Claudio, up here, hit that little question mark icon and either hit contact us, or down here at the bottom right, jump on chat support with the folks that Nigel's using right now to provide chat support for High Level. Yeah, if you're not seeing them, then they're kind of acting weird on you. That's how you would get tech support. So those of you who are new, that's how you would get tech support on High Level. Nigel's bringing some of that in-house. He's been using a service that's been providing the technical support for Tech Tribe members for the last 6-8 months, but he has hired several folks and is integrating in-house. So you're going to see some changes and some updates to the support options for Growably inside of the Tech Tribe as well. Yep, Claudia said okay, he'll try that again. So, but yeah, if you've got support ticket in, you're not getting the help you need, please put that in the Tech Tribe forums as well, and tag Javier. so that he can make sure that the folks that Nigel's paying to do the tech support to help out there to get us over this hump are actually doing what he's paying them to do. It's all about getting paid to do what we promise we're going to do. Sean Edmonds says, yep, he's in the LinkedIn challenge. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about the LinkedIn challenge, which was an experiment that Nigel and I came up with. If you're not familiar, I did launch a scaled down version of the LinkedIn Advantage. That was the original one. The LinkedIn Advantage course was about 4 hours, which was pretty lengthy. I go way in depth on that. But I have made a simplified version of that only takes, I think, about 80 minutes total runtime on that. But once we put out that training, we decided we're going to kick off the new year with a 90-day challenge for Tech Tribe members. And as you can see on the screen here, we are giving away some sweet prizes to incentivize you folks to jump into LinkedIn. That program and the training that is inside the Tech Tribe has generated $10 million to date at an MRR that I know of, and that's just what people have reported back to me, unsolicited. So this system works. It continues to work. It's a very simple system, but you have access to that, and we're incentivizing you to try that, get started with it, and we're going to give away some sweet prizes on the Growably call that's coming up in April. So let me pop over to the site and the announcement. I'm going to put this in the chat as well. Like I said, I know Sean was one of the ones to jump in pretty quick with the LinkedIn challenge. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in the chat so that you can just click that. All you got to do to enter to win these sweet prizes is take a screenshot of your LinkedIn profile with your current number of connections. And you want to do that before the 15th of this month. So if you're watching this on the replay, we're going to do another broadcast tomorrow. But you have until Sunday to register and be entered into the contest, the challenge, to be able to win those sweet prizes, which is a DJI drone, an Insta360 camera, or a Logitech MX mouse. So this is first place, second place, and third place. So enter. You've got a lot of chances to win, believe me. Sean already has 37 connections since starting the challenge this week. So that is fantastic, my friend. He's rocking it. So, like I said, this will get you business. The whole point of this challenge is not the prizes. The whole point of this challenge is to show you that using the system that you have access to. So if you go to that post and you come down here, this will take you to the LinkedIn Growth Map training. I give you a full training on how to use LinkedIn, how to set up your profile. And if you come in here to the very first step here under the what to expect, don't forget to scroll down and pick up your workbook. Some of the folks have missed the workbook, and I'll tell you why. Because I give you the scripts to use on LinkedIn to get people to connect with you using however, whether you're going after clients, you're trying to get PR, you're trying HR, you're trying to hire people. I give you all the scripts to use to be able to send out on LinkedIn, and I promise you these do work. So current clients and friends, there's the script. So I give you all of the scripts to be able to use in the workbook. So you definitely want to go through the training if you want to level up your LinkedIn knowledge and how to use a system start to finish. I cover all that in here. And I'm excited to see what people come up with in the progress that people have. Dave Lane says, yep, it's super helpful, thanks, but it's nearly half midnight, so he's going to catch the replay. Get some sleep. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that, Dave. Let's see here. CyberGuard360 says, yes, we'll be joining that ASAP. Yes, I promise you. Like I said, this is not about prizes. This is about getting you business. And that was the number one source of business. I ran an MSP of my own for 10 years. LinkedIn by far was the best revenue generator of any marketing that I did. And I give you, this is my secret sauce of what I used in my MSP and what I've been coaching in the 10 years since I left and retired out of the MSP day to day and have been training MSPs since. This is the exact roadmap to take. And I promise you, you will love the results that you get. But I can't wait to see how much business we're able to close and the progress that people are going to be able to see. This is about helping you build your network so that all the rest of the stuff we're going to be showing you inside of Growably will work. Will work because you have an audience. You have an audience of super fans. That's what we want to create on LinkedIn. That's what we're trying to help you do. So if you haven't done so, join the LinkedIn challenge. Like I said, you've got till Sunday to register. I think right now we have 54 was the last total that I had about an hour ago. We've got 54 Tech Tribers in the challenge, and I'm super excited. As you can see, Sean Inman has already have 37 new connections, and I think it's been a week and a half, maybe. Sean, let me know how long that's been since you jumped in, because I think we released this. Yeah, it was a week ago, last Monday, right after New Year's. But he's jumped in, and a week and a half, 37 connections. So think about how you can build your list so that when we do the drip campaigns and when we do the other things we're going to show you and release inside of High Level / Growably this year, that you'll actually have an audience to be able to benefit from the things we're going to share with you this year. So that is the LinkedIn challenge. So yeah, super excited about that. Yep. Sean said, yes, it has been a week and a half, 37 connections. So do the math on that. If you add 100 new connections a month, by the end of a year, you will have 1,200 new connections, 1,200 potential prospects to be able to sell your services to. But again, I show you exactly how to do that in the growth map. So I show you exactly how to create an audience and how to do that without actually selling anything. So Sean's already got people connected. He didn't have to sell anything. All right, so now let's switch gears here, and I want to give a couple shout outs to some folks that are have been super helpful, and these folks were actually voted on by their peers inside of the Tech Tribe this year. So that was what is awesome. I want to recognize Jacob Hartman for his dedication and service. He has been absolutely phenomenal over the last 30 to 60 days, helping fellow tribers with questions, problems, issues. So check out some of the things that Jacob has posted inside the tribal forums over the last month or two. Absolutely phenomenal contributions. We've had some great interactions with folks and really pressing people to see. He's a bigger MSP, but he's got some great ideas for being able to build business no matter how big or small you are. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal ideas. Another one that I wanted to recognize. So Jacob, I'm going to post this in the tribal forum. So you're going to get a Tech Tribe gift card to the merch store. So if you're not familiar, the Tech Tribe does have a merch store, and it's merch.thetechtribe.com. So if you want to pick up some sweet Tech Tribe gear, feel free to head over there and grab your own. But Jacob and Felicia King was the other one I want to recognize this month. Again, voted on by their peers as being super, super helpful and go-givers over the last few months, and just giving phenomenal advice, tips and tricks on how to run an MSP, and lots of technical stuff, which was great from those two folks as well. Let's see here. Claudio, I'm going to pop his question in here. Says, from LinkedIn, how do you get the email for the drip campaign? That is a whole process that I show you inside the growth map training, Claudio. So once you get connected with people, the whole idea of being able to get their email from them, obviously, when you connect, you'll get their email and be able to see that. But what I teach you inside of the LinkedIn Growth Map training is ability, once you're connected with him and you want to produce content where you're seen as a relevant expert, and the whole idea is to get them to opt in so that their email address is usable in these drip campaigns. But that is a whole process that I do cover in the training. But again, as we roll out drip campaigns, we're going to show you how to use that, how to integrate things from what you're doing on LinkedIn, and how that pivots and connects with what we're doing, with direct marketing, with email marketing, with lead magnets, with funnels, all that good fun stuff. Just a caveat with that, Claudio, just because you connect on LinkedIn, some people, aren't super appreciative if you automatically put them on your newsletter list or you automatically start marketing to them. And again, that's one of the things I do cover in the training as well. I don't recommend, putting them straight on there. We want people to opt in and give us permission to use their email. I know Canada specifically has been cracking down on that, with people just harvesting LinkedIn emails and then putting people on lists. But just because you're connected on LinkedIn, they really haven't given you express permission to email them yet. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure what country you're in, Claudio, but again, those regulations, laws, all the good fun stuff. And again, it touches on what we do on LinkedIn as well. But great question. That's the whole thing is, we want to do this in such a way where it's sustainable for you. I'm not about growth hacks or anything like that. So yeah, Claudio says he's in Canada. Yeah, I was just talking with a fellow triber today, and he says he's seen this with a couple of his clients that have connected with people on LinkedIn and put them on bulk newsletter lists and kind of gotten in trouble from it. So just keep that in mind. Our whole goal here is get connected with them, build an audience so that they actually know who you are in the first place. So that when you do drip campaigns, when you do webinars, when you do lunch and learns, when you do those things, they actually know who you are when you do your marketing. So, and again, that's how we get started and get in front of them is through LinkedIn. Number one lead generation source for me. I'm going to take a quick drink because now we're going to get into the builder time. So feel free to fire away on questions. I do have one question that came in since the last Growably call, and I want to cover that for a fellow Tech Tribe member who had a question as to how to build something inside Growably. So we're actually going to build something. And then if we have time, hopefully, Claudio, maybe we can cover some of those drip campaigns, and I can show you some of that cool stuff as well. So I'm going to take a quick drink here. Let me know you guys are good. Claudio, and let me know too, Claudio, and CyberGuard 360, how many connections you guys have on LinkedIn right now. I'm just curious just to see how many connections and where you're at or what success you may have had on LinkedIn already. And it's okay if you haven't. It took me a long time to figure it out. All right, so Claudio says he has 223. So yeah, we want to help you get that up there. Yeah, that's the whole point. You'll find that as grows. What is awesome about LinkedIn is how many people will reach out to you, and that's really what we want. When somebody reaches out to you after connecting with them, that just opens up a conversation. That is the hardest thing in marketing, is to get a conversation started, because people don't want to have conversations with salespeople. They want to have conversations with business people. And that's really the framework where I set up the growth map training, so that you're seen as an equal with the business people you're trying to sign on as clients eventually. But we want to get that relationship started and get a conversation started, so that the things that I'm going to teach you, like right now, when you're doing those follow-ups, you're doing the drip campaigns, they got to know who you are first. That's the hardest thing, is getting visibility with marketing. All right, so I'm going to switch over back to Growably. So we did have a question come in, and again, if you do have questions, this is Q&A time, but we're going to do some building inside of here as well. This question came inside the tribal forums from Brad Hodge, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat as well. So if you want to check out Brad's post, I know Brad couldn't join us tonight, said he has the grandkids, but he's going to watch this on the replay. So I told him we would go ahead and build this live on the call tonight. We're going to do this again tomorrow. So Brad, if you happen to catch us tomorrow, awesome. If not, on the replay. But Brad asked, let's go ahead and put his initial post in here. See here, Andy said, is this going to be available after yeah, I know you guys are in the UK. It's after midnight for you. Andy, yes, as soon as we go off the air from this broadcast, you'll be able to click on the same YouTube link and be able to watch the replay. But if you want to catch us, I'm going to be back on the air again live tomorrow at noon Eastern, which I think is 5 o'clock for you guys. But again, same thing tomorrow. As soon as I go off the air, you can watch the replay there. So we may have some questions that get asked in between now and tomorrow night's call that might be on tomorrow's call. So who knows? But Brad Hodge had asked a question, again, coming from Infusionsoft land, so I know right where he's wanting to go with this. He was talking specifically about how do we create call outcome or result options inside of Growably. He says, we're coming from Keep/Infusionsoft, and we create a task to call a contact. We have the ability to create call outcomes, which will trigger additional automations in that campaign. He said, does Growably have anything similar that we can implement or a way to create workflow to achieve the same? He said, I'm racking my brain struggling to figure this part out. So I figured that's what we will go ahead and do, is cover that. So Andy, thank you for joining us. I know he's bugging out. Get some rest. We'll see you inside the tribe, but thank you for joining us live this evening. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just, like I said, I'm going to flip full screen so I can show you how we're going to do this. So he's talking specifically about making, when you have a lead come in, being able to set up workflows to remind either you, if you're the salesperson, or one of your sales staff to actually make a contact follow-up call to that prospect and have automation that triggers. He gave me a couple of specific examples that I asked him for. Let's see here. Yep. So he said he would create his own options. So if they made a phone call and they left a voicemail, then it would create a task to call back in X number of days. Or if a prospect didn't receive a package, then it will create a task to send a package. So yeah, he said inside Infusionsoft, we could create as many as we saw fit. So that's what we're going to do right now. And this may give you some ideas if you have some drip campaigns or whatever you want to do inside of Growably. I just want to show you the power and the customization that you have inside of Growably. So what we're going to do right now is go into Growably, and we are going to go ahead and create what he's talking about here. So what I'm going to start first, I'm going to go back. This is your main dashboard that you're going to come to when you log into Growably. The first thing we're going to want to do is create some custom fields. And you can create as many custom fields as you want inside of Growably. So I'm going to come down here to Settings, and then I'm going to go to Custom Fields. So you're going to want these in order to be able to plug into the workflow that I'm going to show you, Brad, if you're watching this. So as you can see, here's all the fields. I am a super folder nerd, so I recommend putting it in a folder. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is come up here and create a folder. So I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it campaign activity. You can call it whatever you would like, is easiest for you. Because I'm going to show you where this will show up on the contact record. So campaign activity, I'm going to go ahead and click save. So there's my folder for campaign activity. So I'm going to go inside that folder. Now I'm going to add a couple fields that I'm going to need to be able to do the things that Brad's looking for. So I'm going to create new, and then I'm going to come up here to drop down single. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. You can see with a preview of what that would look like. So I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to give this a field name, and I'm just going to call this call outcome. And again, you can call it whatever you would like on these. So now what I'm going to do is, now under the contact record, I'm going to have a tab or a drop down called call outcome. Now I'm going to build out my options. So the first one would be, and again, you can do it however you like. I called, no answer, wasn't able to leave a voicemail. So the next one, again, I'm just going to create as many options as you want. So called, left a voicemail. I'm going to put some music on too. I could think better when I got some tunes. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. I just made a few, and again, you can delete these, whatever you like. I'm going to do this one. I put it called Prospect Was Reached. And not interested. And again, you could just put not interested, whatever you want, however much or little. So what I want to do is copy that because I'm going to reuse that for the next one. I'm going to paste that one and put not a fit. So if you're familiar with the right fit call, you can have that in there. I just made a couple here, not a fit. And then this one, we're going to put discovery call booked. Too many O's in that one. All right, so that just gives you an idea. You can have as many in that drop down as you want. So this would be the first drop down that I would need. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So there's my call outcome. And now to cover the other two fields that Brad was looking for, let's see here, that send package. So we'll do that as well. So I'm going to back in here, the custom fields. I'm going to add a field. I don't know whether you want this to be just a simple checkbox, but I'm going to go with checkbox. And we'll just say, I'm assuming package like a welcome kit or shock and awe box if you're from Big Red Land, you know who I'm talking about. So I'm just going to hit yes to send a welcome kit. Simple checkbox. And again, you can create as many of these as you want. It's awesome. You can keep going. But what I'm going to do is show you where these are going to show up inside the contact record. So now I've got a section called campaign activity that's going to show up in a contact record. So now I'm going to come back here and go back. And let's just go inside of a contact record, and we're going to pick Han Solo here. And you'll see here's the sections. Here's the contact section. You'll see I have a new section called campaign activity. And then I have a drop down here for call outcome and send welcome kit. And there's all my options. So that really doesn't do us anything right now. Now we need to build a workflow around that. So we're going to create a workflow that creates a task and prompts us to go ahead and fill what that status of that call was. And then we're going to build some results or branches off of that in the workflow as well. But like I said, if you guys have questions on this as we go, let me know. This may be something you need to pause and rewind and go back and watch. But I told Brad that I would get this live, at least show him how to do this live. And again, put as many as you want in there. Just for me, that's easy, just to put everything under campaign activity, have call outcome, and then send welcome kit. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and build an automation. So I'm going to come in here to automation. And again, if you're like me, I'm a nerd. So I'm going to go ahead and create workflow, or create a folder first. And I'm just going to call this the same thing, campaign activity. Mouse keeps jumping here. Activity. All right, so now I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go inside of that campaign activity and create a new workflow. And I'm going to create one from scratch. Create new workflow. And then up here, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a name. What I'm going to do is just call this call outcome workflow. Just for keeping it super simple. So that's the first thing you want to do is give a name. Since we're going to be doing this multiple times and you may have, you may be calling a prospect multiple times, go into settings and you'll want to check this down here to allow multiple. Because like I said, you may be making multiple calls and be able to use this workflow multiple times for the same prospect. So go ahead and check that and then go back into actions, and then we're going to go ahead and build out a workflow. Brad, if you're like me, I coming from the Infusionsoft world, I like tags. But what I'm going to do is, like I said, I don't know what your naming convention is on tags, but you can kick off this workflow using a tag if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now and just go ahead and build this automation out so that I can show you. So the first thing that Brad said is he wanted the ability to create a task to remind someone to make a phone call. So what I'm going to do is come in here, hit that little plus sign, hit my come up here to action and just type in the word task. And here's add task. So I'm going to hit add task, and what we're going to do here is, make a phone call. You can call this whatever you like. And I'm going to hit call, and then I can use my custom fields over here to call contact full name. So this would be, call Robert Smith. And you can, again, use custom fields in here for the description. For the task, we're just going to keep it super simple for this so that the description is the same. And then we're going to go ahead and assign this to the contact's assigned user. And again, you can assign this to whoever you want and then pick a due date. So I'm going to have this go ahead and kick off as soon as I trigger this automation. It's going to go ahead and create this task. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So there's my first step, is creating that task. One of the things I like to do to save myself a step, Brad, too, I'm going to show you, I like to create a call notes field so that I can kind of already create the note, and then all I have to do is type in my notes. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, hit the plus. I'm going to come up here and hit note and put add to notes. And the same thing. I'm going to just, call notes for contact record full name. So again, super simple. You can put in as much detail as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save action. So the first thing we're going to do is make a phone call, and then it's going to create that note. And then what I want to do is, so we've got the task to call them, and now we have a note that's going to be automatically created that we can populate. Now what I want to do is create an updated task. Same thing, I'm going to create another task so that when that phone call is done, I'm going to call this one update call notes and campaign task fields. Again, same thing, I'm just going to copy and paste that. Same thing, assign to contacts user. And let's see here. What I'm going to do is just wait, actually let's do that now, because one of the things I want to do here is you might want you can put in a wait step if you want. So if you want to have it, wait a day before you make the phone call, you can put in wait steps wherever you want. But again, I'm just going to make this simple. So we got a task to create a phone call, a note's going to get created, and then another task to update these two things. So let's just go ahead and put that in there as well, so we know what it is. So now we've made the phone call. Now we have the note. Now we're going to have a separate task to update that call note and update the campaign task fields, which, if you remember, I'm going to go back here. Those were the task fields that I showed you under the contact record. So we're in the wrong one. Let's go to this one. So we want Han Solo. So I'm going to show you, we're going to put Han Solo in this workflow in a minute. So now at this point, what I'm going to do is just stop right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I just want to show you the steps up to this point. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. And then I'm going to hit save again. And now I'm going to come back in here to Han Solo. I can do a couple things. I can click this box here. I can add him to a campaign or workflow. But Brad, if you're going to use tags, you can add a tag here, which will kick off the workflow. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the little robot icon, hit OK. And then we're going to pick out our new call outcome workflow, which is the top one here. And we're going to add everybody all at once. And I'm just going to put test. This is for the logs, so you can actually log who did what and why they did it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add campaign and workflow. So it's going to run, and again, because I only have one, it's going to be fairly quick. So now if I go inside of Han Solo's record here, and I go over here to tasks, should see, actually let's go back in here and make sure I did that right. Okay. So I'm going to hit refresh on. So my campaign activity, I must have done something wrong. So let's go to history. Let's see, it skipped it. Oh, because I don't have an assigned user to Han Solo. So I'm going to do that first. So I come up here, and I'm going to go ahead and assign Han Solo to myself. Now it'll hit save. So now I've got to refire that campaign. So I'm going here. Robots. Any questions on this as we go? Those of you who are watching me live, build this thing out. That's it, Han Solo, hit workflow. Put it in our call outcome workflow, hit test, and add to campaign workflow. All right, so now if I come back in here, we should see, there we go. So there's our 2 tasks for Han Solo. So I need to make a phone call, and then I've got a task to update those contact records. So now I want to come in here to notes, and you'll see that it should have there's my call notes with Han Solo. So that's the one we just fired. So now I just click edit. Now I can type in the rest of my notes. So after I've made the phone call, if I've had a conversation, I'm going to put those notes right in here, and then go ahead and hit save. And then again, that second task, so I can mark that one done that I called Han Solo. And the second task is going to be update call notes, which I just did, and the campaign task fields, which are these guys over here. So now I'm going to go ahead and drill down here to what call outcome, and then I can select whichever call outcome that I wanted. So if you find you need to add more, go back into the custom fields and add more. And again, we're not going to do the send welcome kit yet, because I'm going to show you how that can kick off automation automatically. So you see, very simply, that's a simple task routine for actually getting the tasks created. So now we're going to get into a little more of the complex routines. Once I've updated those campaign fields, we can have the system do a bunch of other things, which is really cool. So now I'm going to get into the really cool stuff. Yeah, so that's a great question, Cyber360. Yeah, so could you set it to loop contacts through a workflow forever, or do you have to input the workflow every time? Yeah, this is what we're going to do next, is we're going to hit a branch off. So depending on what we entered in that call activity, we can have it trigger other automation like start over. We can have this, so you could put a loop in here and loop till that contact until he either says yes or no. And then we can have them pulled out of the workflow. So now we're going to get to the fun part. This is where, the complexity of what you can do with high level is pretty awesome. So now I'm going to come in here to, so once I've updated those call notes and campaign task fields, I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus button again. So now what I want to do is search for if when or if else. So now what I'm going to be able to do is hit if else, and this is going to create a branch for me. And I'll show you what that means in a second. So let's just say here, we're going to call this one left voicemail. Now I come down here into the segment and I hit select, contact details, and I'm going to come down and there's my call outcome custom field. So if the call outcome custom field is left voicemail, there's my segment. So I'm going to hit save action so you can actually see this. So now you can see is based upon what I entered in that campaign task fields, it will branch off and then I can keep going. I can keep adding other emails. I can have it go back and re-loop. But one of the things Brad wanted was the ability to put another reminder or another task on the calendar to follow up with somebody that you left a voicemail with. So you could do the exact same thing as, again, go to task. So you could go through and recreate the task manually. But what I'm going to show you a really cool thing you can do is if I come up here to the original one, this will save you a little bit of time. I hit those little 3 dots and then I come down here to copy. I can copy the action. And as you can see, you can copy all the actions if you wanted from there. So we'll go ahead and hit copy action. And you can actually click wherever you want that action to go. So I'm going to come down here into left voicemail and hit copy here. So everything I did up here is automatically going to be down here. Just save myself probably 5 or 6 minutes of time. So that's what the condition is for left voicemail. But we're not done yet. So if I come in here, I can add another branch. And we're going to call this one not interested. And again, same thing. I'm going to go to contact details, scroll down, or you can just type in that box for campaign. Let's see here. We'll just scroll down. Call outcome. That's what it was. Call outcome is not interested. Now, again, if I hit save, you can see now I can branch off and do something completely different based upon what I entered there. So you might say not interested. You might just put them on your newsletter list there to have them on your monthly newsletter. So again, you do whatever you want with your business. Again, you can have them pulled out of that workflow at that point if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. But again, I'm going to come back up here. We're not done yet. I can keep adding branches. So I can add another branch to account for all the things that I put in there. So let's call this one not a fit. Same thing. I'm going to come in here to contact details and put call outcome. Call outcome. And as you can see, you can select if you want something that's not or it's empty. Have it do completely different things. So I'm going to say it is not a fit. And then we'll go ahead and cover our last one here, which is booked discovery call. Contact details. Call outcome is booked discovery call. Save action. So right there like that, I can go continue to build the branches based upon those reactions that I get on that call. So like I said, I can keep going, based upon, I don't know how detailed you went, Brad, but this will kind of show you how to build a basic workflow for being able to make those phone calls, tag the outcome of those phone calls, and have it trigger the automation. So like left a voicemail or no answer, I would have it start over and just, like I said, just go through that automation to create a task, update the call notes again, so that you have a record of that inside of the contact records. Every time especially it's great if you have people making calls for you, an admin or a sales team. You can continue to build this workflow as long and as deep as you want. Hopefully that helps you. And like I said, those of you hanging out, I know this is kind of the boring stuff, but I wanted you to see what you can do with a workflow to give you an idea. You can do the exact same thing with a campaign. If somebody replies to an email or downloads an ebook, you can have it kick off a workflow automatically for you based upon what the customer does. Or, just interactions that you have. Somebody downloads an ebook, you can have it kick off that welcome series to them for the ebook automatically. But yeah, super, super helpful. Let's see here. You can do the same thing. Brad said the other thing with that package, which creates a task to send a package. So again, I'm just gonna go back in here. I personally would create a separate package or a separate workflow for that, Brad. And again, same thing. I'm going to stay inside that folder, create a new workflow based on Scratch. And we're just going to call this, send welcome kit. And again, you could do it with a tag or just manually. So I'm going to go ahead and here, hit plus, have it add a task, and have it send welcome kit. So I can have send welcome kit to, and again, I can use my custom values here. So I can send that to Bob Jones. So we'll just copy that. You have to have a description, so I can't skip that. So what you could do here is if you have an admin, rather than them having to dig up the address, you can also include the address right on in the task. So you can put company name, their whole address, all of that good fun stuff. You could put it right in the task description. So you could save yourself some time or an admin some time by, building that in just using the custom values function. So we're going to go ahead and hit, and again, contacts assigned user, do in, let's just say right now. And again, if you wanted to wait a day, so that put somebody in that workflow, it waits a day and then triggers the task, whatever you want to do in your business. So we'll go ahead and hit now, hit save action. So now what that will do is send welcome kit. But before we get there, let's go ahead and add a branch in here, because we can trigger on that. Remember that checkbox we created? We can go ahead and put a branch in here. Send welcome kit checked. So now same thing. I'm going to come in here to contact details, call outcome is actually, no, we need the other one. Send welcome kit. So there's send welcome kit is not empty. Actually, let's do includes. Yes. So when that box is checked, I can go ahead and hit save action. So basically that can kick off a workflow. So that if that box is checked, it will automatically go into this branch and create a task to send welcome kit. So hopefully that answers your question, Brad, on how to build that workflow inside of high level Growably. So again, I can make sure you hit publish and save when you're done, so you can put somebody in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit back to workflow, go back in here to Han Solo, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit that checkbox, and we'll see what happens. Wait a few seconds, I'll hit refresh. See if we get that task created. Make sure I did it right. Actually, yeah, we got to put them in there first. So let me put Han Solo in that workflow. And again, you can do it from the main. So if I click that and then come in here to campaigns, I can hit add campaign. And there's send welcome kit. And I can do that at specific times. We'll just say right now at 8:10 p.m., which is in 1 minute. So again, you see, you can actually do this in the future. So you can actually add them to that workflow right in the contact record. So we're just going to wait our designated minute or so for that to run. And again, you can always come in here to the history inside of any of those. Actually, you know what? We forgot to check that. Allow multiple. I'll make sure we hit save. So that should trigger for us at 8:10. A minute seems like forever when you're when you're waiting on stuff. I might have to add him in there again. Hopefully I didn't break it. Yeah, there we go. Send welcome kit to Han Solo. So there we go, just like that. So from that checkbox that we had in campaign activities, send welcome kit automatically creates the task. The other cool thing about this workflow, if you guys want to get really super awesome and cool with stuff, you can have it send a welcome kit, but you could also have it automated. So if you have a service to send that welcome kit out for you, like we have postcards sent out automatically to our customers, if somebody were to sign up. So you can actually create that in there as well. So I can create this, and if I type in webhook, I can do a webhook out to anywhere, connect it to Zapier, which can go to thanks.io or whatever postmark service you have. So the possibilities are endless. So you can actually automate this to the nth degree and never have to touch anything just from checking one box inside of Growably. So let me know if you guys have any questions on that. Brad, if you have any questions, and if you're going to go back and watch this on the replay, if there's anything you want me to dive in a little deeper or give some help or support with, let me know. But hopefully you guys can see the power of what you can do inside of high level / Growably with workflows. Everything that I do, if it requires more than 2 steps, it has a workflow because I don't want to have to think about it. I like being able to check a box or select a drop-down menu and have it do things. That's how I work. If there's anything you guys want me to show you, Claudio, if you're still on the call, I know we're past 8 p.m. here on the East Coast. But if there's anything else you guys want me to show you, like I said, we're going to do this again tomorrow. So if your brain is a little bit asleep this evening, if you're like me, it's like I said, it's 8:15 on a Wednesday, hump day. See if there's any other questions came into the chat. But yeah, thank you, Brad, for asking that question. That was a great question. This was a great opportunity for us to be able to show what you can do inside of Growably. And we've got a bunch more stuff coming out this year with drip campaigns, with a lot of automations that we're going to be sharing with fellow tribers. Cyber 360, Sean, Andy, Claudio. Who else was on here live? Tom Deal, if you're still on here. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Cam Case, Mark Saliba. Yeah, thank you, Mark Donahue, tuning in from Australia. Hopefully you have a great day. But that's going to wrap up this call unless there's any more questions that you folks have. Happy to stay on a little bit longer to answer any questions for you. But yeah, it's just a pretty incredibly powerful tool, Growably. You can do pretty much, like I said, anything. I've not been able to find anything that I haven't been able to replicate from over when we made the move from Infusionsoft a year and a half ago into high level. But I'm super impressed with the features they've been adding and the fact that you guys get this for free. Dang. I could have gone so much further having this free tool. So you guys have an awesome resource here with the Tech Tribe, and for what you guys are paying for $49, man, if I had that ability to have that when I was an MSP and the things that you can do these days with automations, man, just think about all those things we could have done. Anyway, so thank you for hanging out with me live. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. Again, if you're happen to be watching this over on YouTube, which you probably are, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe. That way you're going to get the reminders of all the future Growably calls and some of the extra surprise trainings we're going to have coming up over the course of the year. We've got a lot of things planned. Nigel will be back from his holiday with his family soon, and we have so many things to get to work on for you folks this year. But I appreciate, being able to hang out in the community with all of you. Cam, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it. Like I said, we're just getting started with things. We have so much in store. Join the LinkedIn challenge if you have questions or anything you need help with on the LinkedIn side. Be sure to tag me in the tribal forums. I'm in there every day. I'm happy to answer questions and share anything that's in this gray squishy stuff inside this head, to be able to share with you folks, help you bypass and not make the same mistakes that I made, because I made all of them and many, many more. Spent over $100,000 learning how to do marketing, made so many failures. But I'd like to share with you what is working, what worked for me, what is working for my coaching clients, and helping the greater community. That's what I'm all about. We're going to really amp that up. So thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this for the evening. I'm going to kick back and chill for the rest of the evening. And again, we're going to do this live again tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And if there's some more questions that come in the tribe between now and then, I'm going to cover those on that call. So you're welcome to join us live tomorrow if you happen to be on. But if you happen to be watching the replay, this is going to be available as soon as we wrap up this call. So thanks again. I will see you folks inside the tribal forums if I don't see you on next month's Growably call. Thanks again for hanging out live with me. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night. Peace.